Good morning. Today is Tuesday, July 18th. This is Cracker's Crazy Living. Today I am going to do freezer peach pie filling. This is a really good, simple recipe that you can make ahead of time with your peaches that are in season. And you can make up the filling, and then you can freeze it, and then you can have peach pie filling for a pie whenever you want it. It's a fairly simple recipe. It takes 1.5 pounds of peaches, a half a cup of granulated sugar, a tablespoon plus two teaspoons of cornstarch, quarter teaspoon of ground ginger, quarter teaspoon of ground cardamom, quarter teaspoon of cinnamon, and then 1 ounce package of refrigerated pie crust, or you can make your own pie crust. So step one is to toss the fresh peaches and the sugar, cornstarch, the ginger, the cardamom, and the cinnamon in a large bowl, making sure all your spices are evenly distributed. Then you line a 9-inch pie pan. I just buy some cheap aluminum pie pans. And then you line it with either foil or parchment paper. I've used parchment paper in the past and it works well. And you transfer the peach mixture to the pie pan. You cover it and you freeze it for 8 to 12 hours. Then you remove the frozen peach pie filling from the pan, discard the foil or the parchment, and place the filling in a Ziploc plastic freezer bag, or you can use a vacuum seal bag if you have those. And then you return it to the freezer until you're ready to use. Peach pie filling will keep up to 6 months in the freezer. So I like to make 2 or 3 of these, or 4, whatever, and just have them in there. And I'm going to do that. And I do think I'm going to also make a couple of pies today and freeze them, and then put them in a bag. Vacuum seal them and have them in my freezer. That way I can just pull the whole pie out, stick it in the oven, and bake it off. I'm going to do that as well as make the filling. I have used this before. It's a very good recipe. And then to, of course, make your pie, 450-degree oven. Fold it, it just tells you how to make the pie with the refrigerated pie crust. So you bake it at 450. It doesn't even say how long. Oh. You can do lattice design on the top or a whole pie crust. So bake in a preheated oven 10 minutes at 450. Reduce the temperature to 350, covering the edges of your pie so that your edges don't overcook with foil. Then continue to bake until the top is brown and the filling is bubbly, about 40 more minutes. So this is a very good pie recipe. I have done this in the past. And I want to make more with these peaches that I got from Georgia, because I went through these peaches last night and they were fine. I get up this morning and I have several that are starting to rot. So I'm trying to turn this thing down. I had to tighten it up where my phone goes because it was too loose and my phone was falling off, and now I can't move it. So I did adjust. They're starting to brown already through the pit. They're rotting from the inside out. So these are the peaches I'm going to start with. I only have 15 peaches left in my basket out of 1.5 bushels that I brought home from Georgia. So I'm making good headway. But when I checked these last night, I'm like, they're fine. They're not going to be rotted in the morning. Wrong. They were already browning. It's just peaches, when they starting to get ripe, they go from ripe to rot. It's incredible. And you could literally sit there and almost watch them rot. So I don't want to waste these peaches. I want to save as much as I can, because I paid a lot of money for these peaches. They don't go by the pound like they do down here. All the stores even when they get peaches from other places and vegetables and fruits from other places, they sell it by the pound. They don't go by the peck or a bushel. They go by the pound. These were $50 a half a bushel, and I bought 3 baskets. That was a bushel and a half. I spent, plus I got the white peaches, plus I got peaches from my mother-in-law, plus I got honey from the place up there. I spent $200 on this stuff, but that's okay. That's what I saved my money for. That's what I wanted to do, so I did it. I'm going to put you on pause. I have all my jam here from yesterday. There's some of it I already put away. I ended up with 30 jars of jam. I did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. I had 13 half pints and 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. I ended up with 30, so I think I had 15 pints. So I ended up with 30 jars. So I did some pints and some half pints, because that's what I had jars for. So I'm going to put you on pause. I'm going to get this stuff stored away, and then I'll have more space here to start on my peach pie filling, and then we'll be right back. Okay, so I just took a scale real quick. I'm not going to blanch these peaches. You don't really need to blanch these. These peaches are easy to peel. The skin, they're so ripe that the skin's pretty much just peel right off. So most likely I won't lose a lot of flesh on these peaches. I'm just going to go under the skin and just begin to pull the skin off. Not saying that might not cut into the flesh, but hopefully I won't lose much, because you don't really want to blanch them at this point, because you don't want your peaches cooked. And when you blanch them, it cooks them slightly, and then that's what you need to do when you are making peach jam, but not necessarily for peach pie filling. So yeah, that didn't take much to peel. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna sit down to do this, and I'm going to get me a cutting board. Or I have a cutting mat. I have these cutting mats more than I have cutting boards. I'll leave my paring knife there. I'm gonna get me another sharp knife. And I'm just going to sit down and peel these. I'm going to cut them in half, as opposed to trying to pull them apart with my hands, because I want to have slices of peach. I don't want to have mushed parts of peach. I want peach slices. So yeah, see, it was starting to rot from inside out around that pit. And it was funny, because my son said that when the guy that works the orchard, the peach place up there, he hand picked all of my peaches, which I've never had anybody do that before. He hand picked them because the ones that were already starting to overripe, he didn't want to sell me, because he knew that we were traveling. He wanted to be able to have me have peaches that were firm or under ripe, which he did. So he went through every peach in the basket that I bought and hand picked them for me, so they would be nice and fresh. So now I'm just took the peach, cut it in half. These are huge peaches. And now I'm just making slices, and I'm going to toss that in to my holding vessel here. And I'm going to start treating these with Fruit Fresh. I want the slices, peach slices. So I'll get this done and I'll be right back. I won't bore you with this. Okay, I'm back. I got all my peaches peeled and sliced. I have 8.5 pounds of peaches here, and the recipe says about 3 cups of peaches per pie. So I'm going to measure out how many peaches I have so I know how to multiply my ingredients for each pie. And then I can just do it all at one time and knock it out. Might need a bigger pan to stir all this stuff in. So let me look here. Yep, I might have to wash out my other pot that I have, that I made the jam in yesterday. It's sitting here soaking. Let me wash that out and I'll come right back. Sorry about that. Okay, I have a bigger pot here. So now I'm going to measure out my peaches. I have a 1 cup scooper here. This scooper is one that I got when I was on Weight Watchers. They have 1 cup scoops and they have a 1/2 cup scoops, and it was a way to measure your food a long time ago. I don't even know if they still sell them anymore. 2, 3. That's 1 pie. 1, 2, 3. That's 2 pies. 1, 2, 3. That's 3 pies. Isn't that right? Uh-oh, I better have to do it over. Darn it. All right. 4 pies is 12 cups. Let's do it that way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That's 4 pies right there. And then I have, how much more? 1, 2. I have 5 pies worth exactly. That's good. 5 pies. So that'll be 2 I can make completely and put in my freezer, and then 3 of the filling to have later on. And I will have to freeze that pie for this weekend. Even if it's just for a couple of days, because I can't keep it in the refrigerator. It will get icky. So 5 pies. So I need to multiply my ingredients times 5. So let me go get my calculator so I can do that quicker. Okay, got my peaches measured out. I have enough for 5 pies. And I calculated out all my other ingredients. So for the sugar, I'm going to need 2.5 cups of sugar. I had bought a 25-pound bag of sugar when I went to the store to get the stuff for the jam, so I have plenty of sugar. How much? 2.5 cups of sugar. I don't know where my half cup sugar went. I think I'm gonna. Oh, here I go changing recipes already. Let me go 2.5. As I tasted one of these peaches, and even though they're overripe and they're starting to rot, it was a little bit on the tart side. So I'm going to go ahead and do another. I'm going to do another half cup of sugar because I want to have enough sugar. So that makes it 3 cups of sugar. All right. I put the date and I'm making notes at the bottom here. All right, so for the cornstarch, I need 5 tablespoons plus 10 teaspoons of cornstarch. So I am going to convert that into ounces because I am going to put it on my scale in a dish. I'm going to put it on my scale in a little dish, and I'm going to take off the tear on the dish, because when I multiply and I do several pies, I'm not going to want to sit there and go 1, 2. I want to be able to measure it on my scale in ounces and then say it's done. This comes up in ounces first, so I don't have to change it, but I do have to hand measure it. So 5 tablespoons. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 10 tablespoons. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's just to thicken it, keep it thick. I'm going to do a little bit more. So that's 2.86 ounces of cornstarch. 2.82 2 ounces. It's probably like a half a cup. I don't know. Let's see if we can measure it in this cup. Just pour it in here and see how much that is. About 3/4 of a cup, looks like, cornstarch. It sticks in everything. That's just to thicken up your juices. Maybe I'll do another teaspoon. About 3/4 of a cup. So I will put on here as well about 3/4 of cornstarch. I'll write it down here. 3/4 cup. So that way, if I want to do that, I can, or I can do it the other way. All right, done with that. Okay. What is next? Ginger. 1 1/4 teaspoons of ginger, ground ginger. Oh boy, am I going to have enough? 1. And 1/4. Wow, not much of that left. I might just, it's not bad, but it's not gonna be any good next time I go to use it. So there was just a smidge left. I don't want to dump it in my pie because some things it's okay to do that with, and some things it is not okay to do that with. Sometimes it's okay to add extra spice like cinnamon or vanilla, but sometimes it's not. Okay, so all of these ingredients are the same amount. Cardamom smells good. So we got 1 1/4 teaspoons of cardamom. I need to put that in a different container. One. And 1/4 of that. That was a heaping quarter. I want to make sure I have enough for all these peaches. And then the same amount of cinnamon. I need to put these spices in containers that I can put my spoon into. One. And 1/4. And then that's it. And then you just stir it all together. So I'm going to get a big spoon and I'm just going to gently stir it. Don't want to mush up all my peaches. I'm going to stir this up well to be able to distribute well your spices. Your cornstarch and your sugar. Now, I have never multiplied peach pie filling like this before. I've always done like done all the spices. Like I'll measure 3 cups for one and mix that together, and then I'll mix the next one together and the next one together. I've never done it all at once like this, so we'll see how this turns out. Because it might, I might have to add more cornstarch. But the object of doing it this way, maybe I should have did it that way. Maybe I should have measured 3 cups at a time and mixed all the spices in together, 1 pie at a time. I think this is going to be okay. Definitely sweet enough. Those are delicious. This is so good. All right, so now we're going to get our pie shells. I think I'll use these pie pans. These were bigger ones. Those are 9-inch. I might use those for the 2 pies I'm actually going to make. Here I have just your standard 8-inch pie pans. So I'm going to line it with parchment. I have a couple of parchment squares. I'm just going to line the pie pan with the square. And then I am going to measure, where's my scoopper? 3 cups of filling into each one. And then what I like to do is I kind of just take the parchment and just kind of like fold it over on top of itself. Like that. And then I freeze it. It won't stay that way, but I'll freeze it. And then when I go to pull it out of here, it'll be somewhat protected. So there's one. There's 2. I just get these cheap pie pans over at the dollar store or Dollar General. They're cheap for what I want them for, and they're pretty nice for what I pay for them because you can wash them out and reuse them. They're not as flimsy as some of the real cheapo foil ones. See, these are foil. These are foil pans, but they're not like this foil pan. So these ones are actually pretty sturdy. See, I got all this juice, and that's the problem. That's why I should have did 1 pie at a time. I should have not measured all my ingredients together, because I have all this juice in here. That's okay. I'm not going to fret over it. It's going to be what it's going to be. Now, if you want to make cobbler out of this, if you want to make, like if you want to take it out of the freezer and chop it, cut it in pieces and stick it in a dish and make cobbler out of it, you can. If you want to make a crisp out of it, you can. I use it for peach pies. Definitely going to have a peach pie this weekend because we're all getting together for a hot dog. We got hot dogs from up north, and as when my sister came down, she was able to bring hot dogs with her that we love. So we got hot dogs, and we're going to just have a grill out and be together and enjoy the hot dogs. And I'm going to make a peach pie, and we're going to have peach pie. So, all right, well, I think that's it for this. Here it is. It's going to be frozen. And then after you freeze it, you kind of like fold this paper over. And then you pop it into a Ziploc freezer bag. Or you can do it in a freezer vacuum seal bag after they're frozen. And like the recipe said, they will keep fresh for up to 6 months. Does it say 6 months or 3 months? Up to 6 months in the freezer. So it's nice because you could get peaches when they're in season, and you can prep this ahead of time. And then in the wintertime, when the fruit is not available maybe in some of your areas, or it's real expensive because they're getting it in from other places in the country or in the world, you can have fresh Georgia peach pie in the winter. That's what I love. I love that. So that's it for peach pie filling. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you like what you see and you enjoy what I do, and you have not subscribed to my page, please hit the subscribe button. Give me a thumbs up. Ring the bell. It will notify you when I have another video. And I thank you so much. My vacation was a blessed time with my family, and I loved it, and I was able to bring home some really good ripe peaches from Georgia. Have a good week. Have a safe week, and I'll see you next time on Crackers Crazy Living. Have a great day, everybody. Thank you. Talk to you later. Bye.